Hey, my friends, let's talk about pocket organizers and some of the things that are helpful to have in your organizers. I'm always changing things out, but there are some things that are really great to have. And sometimes it just depends on the time of the year, that some things make more sense than others. Now, a few videos back, I featured this organizer when I talked about pocket pens. It's a great pen, but we won't be talking about that pen today. We're going to be talking about some other things, but this organizer was a really good fit for that pen. And this organizer kind of brought up a few questions from a few people, and that was mainly like, what pouch is this? And this is a 3V gear pouch. This was their compact. They don't make these anymore. They have a larger version. It's quite a bit larger, actually, but it's on sale now at Amazon for $10, and so it's a real steal. I wish they still made this size, but this is a really small size. But I really like it, though. I mean, you can put this in your pocket and really carry it, unlike other organizers that are just too big. And so I'm so glad I got this. When this was available, I believe I paid like $5.99 for it, and so it's just a steal. It's actually made of pretty good quality material, too. It's not the highest quality. It's not like a Maxpedition or a VanQuest, but it's pretty good. It's somewhere in between there. And so, I just wanted to talk about, stuff in particular that goes in organizers and that's helpful. First, if you have a morale patch, what a lot of people do is they put a little handcuff key. You can get some really flat handcuff keys, and you can put that under your patch, right? So if you ever really need it in an emergency, you kind of have it concealed. Number two, I like to keep my phone charging cable in the front pocket. And so I'm not sure if you can see that, but I do have one there. This is just a small one here, but sometimes that's all you need. So now I'm going to go ahead and go on the inside and take a look. Now here on the inside, I just want to show some things that you sometimes see in organizers, but not always. And the first is going to be full-size tweezers. Always very helpful to have, especially if you have a tick or some other problem that you need to deal with, maybe splinters. The next is pens. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people with notepads, but no pens. There are no pencils, nothing to write on the paper. So have some pens. Now, what I've done on these, and I just did these a few moments ago, is I took some Bic pens. These are the Bic Round Stick Grip, and these are the fine tip made in the USA. And I simply just cut them down. And it was approximately about 1.25 inches that I removed off the back side. And I took the plug out and I replugged it, and it works great. So here's a very compact pen, and when you have like an organizer that's this small, excuse me, you kind of have to trim it down or it won't fit. So this fits in here just perfect. And so I put 2 pens in there. It's always good to have a backup in case one of them runs out of ink or you need to give a pen to someone else. For example, if you get in a car wreck, you can have a pen to write down their information while you give them a pen to write down your information. Also, instead of carrying like a pocket knife, you can have a razor knife. Now, what this is, and you don't see a lot of these anymore like you used to, this is a Derma safe. And I'm not sure if they exist anymore. I'm pretty sure they're still around. But if they are, you can find them at derma-safe.com. And so that just slides in there. And I like to put the real thin items close to where the zipper is, so it's just easier to close and open the pouch. Now in this particular pouch, it has a keeper, as you can see here, and what I have done is just loop this around this 3-foot backup charging cord. Now this one's from Anker. I've had this one for a little over a year, and this one's really high quality. This is a really good piece of kit here. So I keep that in this little slip pocket behind here. Now you may be asking, like, well, where is your notepad? Well, this is just an example. This is not how I would set up my personal, pocket organizer. I'm just showing you some things that, you may want to consider. But in this particular organizer, it is actually so small that a 3x5 notepad does not even fit in it. It's just that small. So if I was to kind of start to create this setup for myself personally, I'd probably just take a few pieces of loose leaf paper and fold it down and put it in this slip pocket, pretty much right behind this charging cable. Now over here on the other side, we have some people call them ear swabs, cotton swabs, whatever you want to call them. But they're very helpful. And these are kind of the little bit more of the heavy duty versions. These are really nice. And then also I slipped this in here, and this is some super glue, just some generic super glue. And as you can see, you can tuck it all in there. It's all very nice and no problems. And lastly, there's a keeper on this side as well. And you can see that I have it tethered to this cord because I have a neck carry lighter. And so this actually just slides right on in this particular pocket. And so this is what the organizer looks like when everything is tucked away in its place. Now I just wanted to kind of talk just for a moment about a few things that I've done to this lighter and give even a couple more examples of things to put in a pocket organizer. So on here you can see this lighter that's wrapped in type 3 parachute cord. And so it definitely gives you some capability. You can take this particular cordage and use the inner strands for a lot of different things. So what I've also done is that on the lighter itself, maybe a little hard to see, but I wrapped it with at least 3 wrappings of electric tape. Now on some of my lighters I use Gorilla Tape, but on this one I just used electric tape. And so you can use that tape for a variety of reasons, for fire tender or to repair something. Also, you got a little bit of fire tender here on this Ranger band. Now, if type 3 paracord is just too thick and it just makes the whole wrapping too bulky, you could always go with type 1 paracord. The difference is that this on average has about a 90-pound test rating, but it's much more thin than the type 3, which has a 550-pound test rating. So definitely you can use type 1 paracord, also known as tether cord or special equipment cord, to meet your needs, especially if you don't need a really heavy-duty cordage. In terms of fire starters, you could always get yourself a roll of jute twine and just take a portion off the roll and store it in your organizer. This stuff is pretty flammable. It does better though when you break it up or fluff it up, and even put a little bit of like petroleum jelly on it. And so you could just cut yourself a section of this and take a small Ziploc bag and store it in there to keep everything clean. And then once again, just find a spot in your organizer to store it. When you're out in the field, it's really nice to also have a means to sharpen your blades. And so just having a little knife sharpener, this is a diamond rod sharpener, can definitely give you some more capability. And these things are really compact and ultra lightweight. And lastly, it's always good to have shelter options, just in case you're out in bad weather. If you have a small pocket organizer, you may be limited only to heavy-duty trash bags and or disposable ponchos. But if you do have more space in your organizer, these space blankets, Mylar blankets, they also have more advanced versions as well. These are awesome, and I've seen a lot of people put these in vacuum sealed bags and vacuum seal them down to a very small form factor, so that is an option. But having shelter can make a big difference. It can save your life. And for those who carry ginormous pocket organizers, don't forget the Art of Prepping mugs. Very valuable in a survival situation. So I hope this was helpful. Just a few ideas. This is obviously not a comprehensive review or how-to of set up a pocket organizer, but just once again some ideas of some things of which could go into your organizer to be helpful to you. So thanks for checking the video out. Catch you later.